Hey, what is up, traders? This is Stan Gluzman here with 7 Points Capital, bringing to you today's trader takeaways. So today was a pretty decent day. We had a lot of action. A lot of stocks are in play today. I think I traded 15 or 16 tickers. A couple of winners, a couple of losers. Losers are small, winners are nice and big. So I'm not really going to show you my trades. What I do want to talk about is importance of scaling, and I will give you guys an example of mankind today. So the reason is because I see a lot of people making these mistakes, and I think it's important to talk about this kind of stuff. So mankind today opens up, and I'm short biased, right? But I just don't know. I just don't know where the top is. I don't know where it's going to top out, and how do I fade it? How do I manage the risk? Do I just short full size and then get stopped out if it pushes, or do I wait for the initial move, up and then short into the pop? What if it goes down, right? So the way I like to do it is I like to scale in slowly, very slowly. I want to show this. I want the stock to show me which way it wants to go. So my initial entry is as close as possible to the open, as high as possible. I'm using 250 as my guide, right? But I can't be entering full size, because if it goes to 250, I'll get stopped out for a big loss, right? It's a pretty decent move. So if I'm risking 250 and this thing actually drops to 207 and I cover it here, that's kind of a 1R trade, right? So the key here is to actually scale in very slowly. So I'm going to show you my executions. Right, so MNKD, so the first entry was pretty small. It was like a quarter or even less, and the risk was 250. Why 250? A lot of volume traded above 250, so I'm thinking, we do have some resistance right here, so I'm thinking about above 250. It would be harder for it to rip. So below 250, I'm willing to add. So my first entry right here, pre-market, short into the pop. I'm thinking if it pops up and it rejects, I'm adding full size. If it doesn't, like in this case, I'm shorting as it's breaking this range. So pre-market, we tried to pop, we failed. At the open, we tried to pop, we absorbed a lot of volume here in the offers, and we start to drop really fast. So I took a short, full size right here, like 4 or 5 times my first entry, and now the key is to start trading around the core position. So once it drops and the bids start to stack up, I want to cover some. If it pops and rejects whatever price it is, whether it's here or here, I want to re-add, right? So if it keeps going up and up and up, I don't really have a reason to re-short. I'm going to get stopped out probably somewhere here above the high and still make money. So even if I'm wrong on the trade and I get stopped out, I'm still making money. So I want to short on the way down, or if I see a big offer soaking the volume. So I saw here that we are rejecting VWAP and we're moving down. That's for me to add, right? The stock is downtrending, so I'm adding and I'm taking into any big washes, and then big pop, I'm re-adding into the pop. I see a big offer near VWAP, I'm joining that offer and I'm soaking it up and trading around the core until the trend breaks. The trend never broke, it was dropping the whole time. The only mistake really that I made was this blue arrow right here. At 211 I covered it and I quickly realized that what am I doing? This it's just testing resistance. If I have to give it some room, I have to let it unwind. I don't have a reason to cover until probably VWAP here. So I realized that, and I'm like, all right, next pop, I'm going to short it. Shorted, this is the right thing to do here. Shorting near resistance, not covering near resistance. So I fixed that mistake on the next pop, and I, as you can see, got paid out on that. Right, and there was really no reason to cover. We were just trading below all the resistance. I think at this point here in this consolidation here, we're trading below all of yesterday, right? So we were, all the volume traded between like 250 and like 220 or something like that, right? So below 220, everybody's underwater. Everybody who bought it is underwater. So I don't mind getting in heavy here, which I was, full size, nice and heavy. And again, trading around core. Once I see a big offer stacking up and soaking it, and the stock is turning around and going down, I'm smashing it. So the importance of scaling, again, start in small. Once the stock tells you where it wants to go, tighten the risk. So when I entered here, added here to full size, my risk is now right here. I know that this is a nice top to risk off of. Another example was yesterday, TLRY, where I'm thinking, okay, we're close to 100. Doesn't matter what the thesis is, what the setup is. I want to give it some room. My initial entry right here, couple of entries, risk to $100. Once the stock starts to show signs of weakness and start to break down, it broke 92, it broke 90, or barely broke 90, but it broke this line right here. I'm thinking I can tighten my stop to like 98 and start adding more. Right, so I'm thinking, all right, let's see. I don't want to go full size. Still having about half size on. We push towards 98 and we fail. So here I'm thinking, all right, we 94 reclaimed, under 94 reclaimed. Now I can move the stop here above 96, tighten the stop by like 2 points, and start adding even more in the money. I did make a mistake by not covering anything here. Should have traded around core a little bit here. But once we washed out, that's a big crack. That's a sign of weakness. Now I'm moving the stop even closer to above 94 right here, and I'm adding even more. So at this point, I'm risking just a little bit and to potentially unwind. The only reason I covered is because it was almost 4 o'clock, so I covered into the wash. But had I entered here full size, this is why I'm talking about this. Had I entered here full size, I probably would have gotten stopped out. And as an example, I'll show you today's, I think it was CGC, where I did that, where I entered full size, and I got stopped out. Had I gave it more room, I would have been adding here and covering into the wash. Maybe re-adding some here and getting stopped out into this push. I would have still made money, maybe break even at worst on the name. But this is a mistake that I'm trying to avoid every time. It's hard, but the right thing to do is to have a couple of entries and trade around core. Like right here. Give it some room in the first entry. Once the stock goes in your direction, in my direction rather, I tighten my stops and I let it work. So trading around core, really helping my P&L, like growing exponentially, really on the same type of setups. So if you guys have any questions, you can tweet at me, Chicana Trader, and these are my takeaways. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.